Yeah, I think obviously we're 2 games in. Not probably the start we wanted. I don't think we played obviously to our ability. I think we have a good team. We just played some pad basketball in stretches, and a lot of that um, had to do with our inability to shoot the ball. I think we were 7 of 52 from the 3 point line, and those are a lot of shots that we would take. We've got some good guys that just missed some shots, but the overarching picture is we do. We've got a good team. We've got 12 of our 15 back from a season ago. We battled some injury stuff through the preseason where we haven't had a ton of opportunity to have all the guys together on the floor at the same time, and I think that's probably inhibited us a little bit with some of the reps that you like to get in the preseason, and certainly in our scrimmages, where a lot of our rotational guys weren't playing. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and we'll have to get it sorted here. And we've got a big weekend ahead with Lake Superior State, who's a good ball club, tournament team last year. Michigan Tech, who's really good, ranked, played in the tournament as well, won their league. And then we'll go on the road to Mankato just a few days later, who's obviously another good ball club. So got a tough stretch ahead. Hard to imagine shooting the ball worse than what we did down in Missouri. But what I'll say is, I think the league overall didn't perform great through the first weekend. The 16 teams, 8 teams came out 0-2. 5 teams were 1-1 split. 3 teams went 2-0, and of those 16 teams, all were on the road. So I think that probably factors into to some extent, kind of with the initial outing. But there's a bunch of other teams in our position today who know that they can play better, and I'm sure once things settle in a bit, they'll be ready to go, just like we will be. So yeah, I'm excited about the year. We got 26 guaranteed ball games left. Everything's still out there in front of us, and I like the group that we have. I know they're committed to it. Their heads are in a good place. They're going to keep working at it, and we'll be in good shape here shortly. Yeah, outside of the first probably 20 minutes against Northwest Missouri State, I think we gave up 40 or 41 in that first half. Outside of that, the other 3 halves I think were pretty good. I thought we did some good things. I thought our talk was pretty good. We were, for the most part, we're taking away the things that we needed to. For as bad as we shot it, we were in a 2-point game against Northwest Missouri State with 50 seconds left and a chance to tie it. In the next game there against Emporia State, we erased a 21-point lead in 12 minutes, got it to a 2-point game, and we stood on our defense a lot through those stretches, in spite of some poor shooting. So I was really encouraged by that. I mean, that was the one thing that I thought, okay, that it was pretty steady throughout, and now we just need a few more shots to fall. And I think you have 2 different results if that's the case. So yeah, that's it's area we focused on. I think we were decent there. We did have a few letdowns, late in the game, a botch switch, a suck in, kick out 3 that cost you, but you can't expect your defense to hold the line for a full 40. Your offense has got to kick in something for you, and we just didn't do enough, and certainly early on in either of those games. So yeah, I think they're still finding their way. First year guys, jumping into your first action on the road against 2 competitive teams. I think they'll settle in a little bit. Isaiah to me is as good a shooter as any in the conference. I've watched him for a number of years at Apollo. He filled it up. I watched him AAU, and he had some just great looks. We just watched film a little bit ago, and I sometimes like to get feedback from the team of, hey, is this a good or bad shot? And it was time and time again, yeah, good shot, good shot, good shot. And those are the things you want to hear your teammates telling you, that make or miss, that you're taking good shots, and he'll be fine. Need a few more of those to go, and I'm certain that they will as he gets settled in. And I thought Will played some really good minutes defensively. He was in the right places. He's been good through the preseason. I know he hit a shot early in the second game against Emporia, but yeah, he had a good summer. He's doing everything we're asking of him, and I overall was pleased with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a pretty good preseason, gearing up for these games coming up here. And so, uh, 2 games this weekend weren't exactly the outcome that we expected or wanted, but we learned a lot from them, and we're still building, and we're still working toward conference play coming up here. First, we have this next weekend in Duluth, which is going to be really big for us as well. Those are in-region games, and so we know it's crucial to potentially get 2 wins there, and that's our goal. And then hopefully to build up on that. I think there are a lot of positives to come out of this weekend. There's also some negatives that we'll look at and we'll examine through this week. And we're just still learning about ourselves each day. We're still growing as a team and as people, and so we're taking and watching film and analyzing that, and then from there working on those things in practice, and then going and prepping, and also taking a look at the positives and hoping to continue to build on those things as well. I think just our effort overall was just really consistent throughout, and I think our communication was pretty good, and so we were physical, and that's what we hope to kind of continue, especially into conference play, is our physicality and then our rebounding as well. That is something that we want to take and we want to build upon, and that's what we want to be known for as well, is that we will crash the boards offensive and on the defensive side. And then we can build upon those little things, and that will help our overall game. Playing for Guyana has been a crazy experience for me. It's an experience that I thought really I never thought of in the past, and so getting that opportunity to experience basketball in a different country and just the different play style, the physicality, the kind of game IQ, and just you have a certain similarities, but you have a lot of differences as well, especially playing with FIBA rules. They're a bit different. I remember one of my first possessions down there, I had a layup that was rolling around the rim, and it got tipped out. And I looked at the ref, and he was like, "This isn't the States anymore." And so you have a couple of those differences, but you get to learn from a lot of those experienced players. And I know in these next upcoming years that Guyana basketball has a foundation built, and so I'll be getting to get a lot more experience, and it's also exciting, and it just helps me prepare and get more experience before playing NSIC ball.
Yeah, as Nish said, you never want to start the way we did, but we definitely saw stints of what we wanted to see, what we saw in preseason. The system that the coaches had put in the preseason was different to last year, and we made changes that we thought were necessary to reach the goals we want to get to this season. And we saw glimpses of that, and like we talked about it, if you look at how we were again last year in the preseason, in our regionals, we had another 2 games that, we think we probably should have got, and we didn't get there, and it really had no dictation on the actual when we got into conference. Like it's things you want to get, but it's not always there. So now it's time to gear up, reset, figure out what we did wrong, and head into a good weekend in Duluth this weekend. Yeah, what we spoke about as a team, we looked over those shots. Everyone agrees that we're happy with the guys shooting them. We're happy with the shots we took. It's basketball, it's sport. You're not going to make them all. The keys are having things that we can control. So like Coach said, and as Nish spoke on, our defensive end, we were strong, we were aggressive, and that's things we want to have as our identity. And those are the things we need to be able to lean back on when you do. You can have those nights when you're not going to be able to shoot well, things are going to go wrong. And as our coaches say, there's thousands of ways to win, you just got to find one. So when your shooting isn't going the way you want, we just got to find what our identity is and lean on that. Me personally, last season I believe shot probably the most threes on the team last year, and that was that's something I'm very confident in. Teams know that too, so they figured that out too. So now it's figuring out, okay, well, this is my game, but defenses know that. Now how do I add to that to bypass what they're going to do? So whether they're coming at me or whatever it might be, having different reads and different ways to go about that, so I'm not just a one-trick pony, or like having multiple ways to score and impact the game in a positive way. So for me, speaking to the coaches, like rebounding, physicality on defensive end and getting offensive rebounds. If I can't, I didn't shoot the ball particularly well on the weekend, if I can get offensive rebounds, that's an extra possession for maybe one of my teammates, maybe Niche, to knock down a corner 3. So that's just focusing on what I can bring to the table, even when something's not going my way.